Welcome to the very first Shazam, and do we have a programme for you? It's going to be brilliant. We've got music from George Benson, Duran Duran, Kiwi bands Larry and the Ladders and Carl Gordon, plus an exclusive interview with Cliff Richard. What more could you ask for? Okay, now then, Cliff Richard. Cliff Richard toured New Zealand recently, and we caught up with him at his Auckland hotel room, and the first question I asked him was, had the pop scene changed much in the past 25 years?
Yeah, I mean, everything's changed drastically. Certainly the people have changed. The people that I knew in those days are no longer either singing or they sing but don't have much success at it. And the way of recording's so different. I mean, we recorded on mono tape. I mean, now, you know, that wide. And now we've got 24-track machines. Technically, it's amazing. I mean, one person can sound like a choir if you want him to. The changes have been absolutely drastic. I think it's a lot better now. A lot of people say, oh, those were the days. They were only the days while they were the days. They were great days. I shan't forget them. But for me, now is the better time to be doing it because you can do so much more. I mean, it's become an art form, you know. It's not, you must have heard the saying, it's only rock and roll. I hate that saying. It's not only rock and roll. It's rock and roll. It's for real.
There's a lot of people fell by the wayside at that time of the music business. How did you manage to get through it with unscathed, really? Because a lot of people...
I don't know, really. I mean, I can't remember saying to myself, I'm going to get through this while everyone's falling by the wayside, because it doesn't, it doesn't cross your mind to think that way. Looking back, I've always had a love affair with rock and roll. I've always liked it. It's my favourite form of music. I'm slightly right at middle of the road. I mean, I'm not like Sheena Easton or ABBA, and yet I'm not like Led Zeppelin. So when people write me off as middle of the road, they actually don't know what they're talking about. But I enjoy what I do, and I think I enjoy it because, and this is a direct answer to the question really, why I've stuck around and made it was because I was very diverse. I've sung things like Miss Unites, then done Devil Woman, sort of country-ish type songs like Living Doll. And by being diverse, I think what's happened is it's appealed to a cross-section of people that I would never have reached if I just simply stuck with what I was doing originally.
What was it like when you first went to America? Because you'd be competing with an already established rhythm and blues
Yeah,
market.
well, the funny thing is it was one of the most exciting tours because we were an unknown band in America. I mean, I'm still virtually unknown in America, but when we went there that time, we were totally unknown. And the concert tour, the bill was Frankie Avalon, who again a lot of your viewers won't have heard of, but he was huge, monster great hit. Freddie Cannon, Bobby Rydell, the Clovers, the Crests, Sammy Turner, Clyde McPhatter. These were all great top-name artists at the time, and there was little old Cliff and the Drifters, we were known as then, on the bill. But you know, every single night we stopped the show. We couldn't believe it. We just couldn't believe our luck, and we thought, wow, America, we've cracked you. What America has going for it is 300 million people, potentially record buyers, potentially consumers of all sorts, so therefore everyone has a chance to go in and sell their goods. So I have to go alongside all the other rock and roll artists and try and sell records. And in the last, since 1976, I've had 7 top 30 hit records. But it's still a difficult thing to go there, for instance, and fill a concert hall, because people still don't really know who I am.
And what about your interest in music? Can you remember a time when you thought, my God, I must be a
Oh yeah, I mean,
singer?
I can remember thinking how great it was to have records. There were great big 78s. My mum used to play these great big 78s on a wind-up thing when I was still in India. I was born in India, and when I was 5 or 6, I left there when I was 7½. I can remember these great big round records and being interested in music, but not wanting to sing. It wasn't until I heard Elvis that I really wanted to sing. Because I didn't want to sound, you know, people like Perry Como and Bing Crosby and Frank Sinatra are great singers. I mean, really great singers. No good thinking, oh, dreadful singers. They're not, they're great singers. But not everybody inspires everyone else to be like them, and they didn't inspire me at all to be like them. It was when I saw Elvis that I thought, oh, I would like to be like that. And it gave me the inspiration and the ambition, and I followed it through, and fortunately for me, it happened.
I'm sure there are a lot of mums and dads watching this evening who are going to say, how does he look so well? How does he manage to keep his looks? Have you got a secret? Is there some sort of elixir of life that you...
No. I don't think there is. It's to do with, you know, my mum looks really young. My father didn't look old until he got ill. And my mum looks really young, so I guess whatever's flowing in the blood is what is the reason. I mean, I don't really do much, you know. I mean, touring, you'd think, would kill most people off, but it doesn't do that much to me. I mean, I diet, I have 1 meal a day, I play tennis as often as I can, get out and get some fresh air. And, oh, I know a lot, young people diet as well. What you've got to be really careful of is if you start cutting down your food, you're also cutting down the necessary vitamins that your body has to have. So therefore, talk to your mum, get your pocket money put up because it costs a lot of money, and get vitamin pills. I mean, I went to a doctor and they said, if you're only going to have 1 meal a day, you've got to have vitamins, otherwise you're not going to be healthy. So I supplement with vitamin pills.
Clifford a glance, the appendix.
Oh, yeah.
It says your favourite foods: steak, mashed potatoes, onion rings, sausages and Indian curry.
Oh, yeah. Still my favourites.
Are they?
Yeah, oh, if I could eat curry every day, I would. But, you know, people would have to sit at least that far away to talk to me. Because, I mean, they cook with a lot of garlic and spices. But I love it, and if I'm going to have a treat for dinner, someone says, where do you want to go? I say, let's go to the local curry house. They couldn't give me a better treat. And good old English sausage and mash.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, when I'm at home sometimes, you know, I live with friends, and it's like having a mother, you know, and she'll say, what do you fancy? And I'll say, well, I fancy sitting by the television and like 2 fried eggs, sausage, bacon, chips, and a glass of milk. Not good for the diet, but wonderful.
You've been in the record industry, what must be about 24 years now, so how has your lifestyle changed over that period of time?
Well, everything changes, you know. I've heard a lot of people say, oh, money, fame hasn't changed me. And I think, cool, blimey, they must be strange. Changed me completely. I mean, one minute I was poor, the next minute I wasn't poor. 1 minute we lived in a council house, the next minute I not only bought my own house, but I bought my mother and sisters, and it changed everything. It changed everything. What people mostly mean is that it hasn't corrupted them, and I'd like to think it hasn't corrupted me. But lifestyle has changed drastically. Firstly, because of the fame I achieved and the money, but most importantly, I think, because I became a Christian some 17 years ago. And that really changed me. That didn't just change the material side, that changed the inside of me. And I think that's probably the biggest change that's ever taken place in my life.
Cliff Richard, and we'll be wired for sound again next Wednesday because it's time for us to go.